one. Okie dokie. Taryn,
Okay.
let's start out with giving everyone watching this a little bit of background on you. So I mean, where are you in the country? How long have you been licensed? Why'd you get into real estate? Let's start out with
Mhm.
all the basics.
Sure. So I'm currently in Denver, just outside of Denver, although I'm originally from the East Coast. So I have experience in Boston's market as well as Denver's market. I'm a little more partial to the weather out here. I actually got into real estate, God, it was 2013 when I bought my first house. And the experience was like mind-blowingly terrible.
Ooh.
I was running a company with my fiance at the time were traveling the world running this shoe company and did not have time to um, do any work on a property. And this woman was showing us properties like holes in the drywall,
Oh
collapsed
no.
in-ground pool in the background. So I was like, if this woman can do this, I can do this at a much higher level and really provide value for people out there. And after that, it just kind of snowballed. Now I'm in Denver. I think this is going on 6 or 7 years and just loving it.
Awesome. Okay. That's a reason that I usually hear the opposite. People are like, I had such a great real estate experience that I wanted to do that for other people. You're on the other side of town for that.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I was like, this needs help. There's needs help
so
here.
has that led to you in like real estate? Just are you completely client focused, making sure you're just offering the best service when you meet somebody?
That's a huge thing, and really listening to your clients because they're all so unique and being in. I think that's really missed a lot of times, and it's one of the biggest frustrations as a buyer or a seller is that my agent just didn't listen to me.
Yeah,
So when you get down to that, it's pretty simple.
I love that. Okay, well, so you've been live with us for about 3 weeks, I think, right? And so talk about, I mean, how much ad spend have we spent in that amount of time? And then what kind of output have we seen? And then we'll talk about, why you came on and
Yeah,
first impressions and
yeah,
everything. But
definitely.
let's just give this is the numbers everyone wants to hear right off the bat, right?
Yeah, exactly right. So I'm on a $500 a month ad spend, so not even spending that. I've got I think 44 leads that have come in, 3 appointments, two current active kind of pre-qualified looking buyers, and one in the works to pre-qualify. And then I'd say I have three on the back end who have been quiet, but I know they're active looking in the search. So I'd
Okay.
say that's a pretty decent return pretty quick
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. And so, what would you say you've been doing to make sure that out of the 44 people that have come in, you're converting them at the highest rate possible? Because that conversion is actually really good. It's higher than most agents. So, what do you think you're doing differently?
Yeah, and in this market too, I was a little bit worried about it because it's so super competitive out here,
Yeah.
and everybody knows 5 agents at least. But I think that this was kind of just the missing piece. Like, I enjoy talking to people, I enjoy getting in front of people, I enjoy educating people, and I don't mind doing the work. But it was in this day and age, how do I get in front of more people and just that base
Yeah.
introduction? And then I think the other thing too about this system that unique was the follow up it allows you to kind of jump right in and really know where you need to focus on and what you need to do. And between
Cool.
the videos you guys do and the system you've built out, it's just been super easy to go, oh yeah, okay, this all clicks now. Here we
Cool.
go.
I love that. And by the way, the videos we're revamping all of six FA. So you're gonna get
Okay.
2.0 in like a week, and trust me, we're making it
Very
like 10
exciting.
times better too. I'm really excited for it. Okay. I love that. And so you said that this isn't the first company you've ever tried out before. Talk
No.
about past experiences, what that was like, and then what we're like in comparison.
So I've definitely used, I think, probably three different, essentially social media ad campaign type of companies. I knew there was money there in the ads. Like I know Facebook ads work. They work on me every day, unfortunately. But I was like, this works. It's just not clicking. And these other companies weren't delivering the way that they kind of promised. And some of them were, I saw the ads coming in, but that's where it stopped. It was like, okay, we'll run these ads for you. And then good luck on the back end. I'm a new mom. Time is hugely
Congrats.
important to me right now. And getting back into this, I knew that I was losing money letting stuff slip through. Like the leads were coming in, I was spending that and seeing that return, but I knew that there was just something more. But I didn't know what to put my finger on and like what exactly I needed. The difference with you guys has been just astronomical.
Love that.
Definitely that follow up. And you're also not wasting time so much on like following up with just dead end leads. If somebody's kind of engaging or somebody's highly engaged, there's your money, go for it. So that's
Uh,
been huge.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And has like first impression, like client support and everything, have you felt like we've been there to answer questions? Because I know that's also a big thing. Like a lot of companies don't have great service.
A lot of companies just disappear. That was the experience I had. I actually most recently, just before the pandemic, had signed up with a local company here, and they just within a matter of weeks stopped responding, disappeared. I'm pretty sure they dissolved as a company, but I have no idea what happened
Oh
to them.
no.
So much for those ads. So that was an interesting experience. With you guys jumping on, I was immediately impressed with how much value was right there from the get-go. The client support was huge. Everybody's been super responsive. More so, I think it's kind of like I feel like I need more. Should I need more help? Am I doing something wrong? It's been so intense and so good. Definitely, whatever you need, you guys are right there.
Why I question this is a weird one, but why did you choose us out of anyone that you, because there are hundreds, if not thousands of companies that do, try to do what we do, et cetera. So like, why us?
I think what it comes down to is that your marketing that you're now doing for me worked on me, and that like you're right there. So I saw your ads enough. I kind of seen you around, that retargeting and running that and just being in front of us. And then as I did a little bit more research, I figured that, oh, this is what I was really looking for. It's not just the ads. It's not just the back end. It's this whole picture that really makes the system work. And that was the difference. But I didn't quite know what I was looking for until I kind of find it with you guys, I think.
I love what you said about what we do with you is what we do for you too.
Oh yeah,
I'm trying
absolutely.
to change my volume and the lawn is being mowed. Terrible timing for it. But I can't tell you how many agents get on with us and they're like, well, can you do something else beside the Facebook ads? And like short answers we can, but like realistically, we don't want to because like it worked. I mean, it worked
That's
on you
where
and
it
it
is,
works
right?
on every agent that we talk to. It's like, why do you want us to do something different if you're
Right.
if you're on the phone with us because of what
Right,
we're talking about?
exactly. It worked on you.
Exactly. But sometimes agents don't click 1 and 2 with that. So
Well, and we always want to do the new, different, the shiny thing, and like,
shiny
oh,
object.
somebody's doing this or somebody's doing TikTok now, and I need to be all over the place. You need to be spending your money where your money works for you.
I love that you think that way. Okie dokie. So I guess I want to talk about two more things. Number one is if an agent, we'll just go in order. If there was an agent who who wanted to talk to you and say like, hey, like they're on the fence, why should I come on with EstateNurture? Like, is it really what it sounds like? What would you say to that kind of agent?
I've actually had this conversation already in real life multiple times.
Okay, noted. Thank you. Well, thank you.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I've been out there kind of spreading your word for sure.
I appreciate
the big thing I've kind of said is like, you can go and run your Facebook ads and you can figure that out and you can do this. The difference is you can do it all together and you're going to get a much faster return. You're going to free up your time to spend money and time on things that are important to you. And for me, that's some of the stuff of like other passion projects that I have in real estate that have been on the back burner because I've been focusing on like door knocking and cold calling and doing all this BS, to be quite honest, that doesn't work in the day and age we're in. Now I'm able to go and focus on some of those projects. And because this is a full end system.
I love that. I love that. I love that. And thank you for talking to other agents. I had no idea you've.
Oh, for sure. I definitely have.
Conversations. Okay. And then, so for the agents working with us, you do have a higher conversion. And to anyone watching this, Denver is, I think it's in the top 5 hardest markets in the country.
It's gotta be.
For good reason, right? It's like super, I mean, massive agent saturation, really tight inventory. You guys are getting a lot of the California inflow. Texas. And so it's crazy there. Your conversion is actually really, really, really good. Like it's above what, if an agent's watching this, it's above what I would actually expect an average agent to hit. So nice. What do you think you're doing, like when opportunities come in, to make them want to work with you versus the other agents in your area?
I think it's a multifold answer to that. Part of it is like having the presence and the beefed up back end. I had mentioned before, I have a company that's also running like content stuff. And so my ads are getting out there through you guys, but what do we always do is like click on that profile. Okay, who's this person really about? And previously it was pretty empty. There wasn't much on there. I now have kind of that double end sword coming at you with a ton of information, very professional looking, and it's high it's really all about educating people in the market. And I think that's what, like, providing the most value. It's all free, it's all out there. I do this on a daily basis. I love talking real estate. And then when I actually get somebody on the phone, which I'm not afraid to call, not afraid to do that follow-up, I'm not afraid to jump right in. You know, when I see those leads come in, I kind of monitor that conversation. And if it kind of goes a little wiry, because it's just an AI, so I jump in and say, hey, this is Taryn just jumping in. Here's, you know, exactly what you're looking for, a more specific answer.
And you just win them over with value.
Yeah. And then just, again, listening to them. Like, so I get them on the phone call and those appointments, and some of them have been, actually 2 of them now have been renters who are just looking for rentals. And now they're both working with a lender and pre-qualified and actively looking.
How'd you do that? Because that's, I mean, I tell agents all the time, like, renters come in and agents just write them off.
Right.
And I tell agents, like, they're coming in on a buyer ad. Like, yeah, it's probably just lack of understanding that they can, like, a lot of them don't know they can buy, you know?
Well, that's the thing. And I'm so passionate about, like, building wealth through real estate and just, like, knowing your numbers. And so many people don't realize that they have the potential to be out there buying right now. And there's so many other programs. And so a big thing we have out here are metro specific down payment assistance programs. And we have ways of working with your lender to structure your back end so that you're actually competitive in the market with an appraisal gap, even though you don't have cash in hand. So this is, like, on the back end. I'm on a ton of calls, and I'm an active agent. So I'm really trying to provide the most value. And those are unique things that most people, one, don't know about that even exist. And most people don't know to, like, bring that up. I just bring it up and, like, hey, you know, you could continue renting, you could continue throwing away this mortgage that you are paying every month to somebody else's pocket, or you could kind of just take a look at the numbers, see what they say, and go from there. And every single time they've come back around and said, hey, we're no longer interested in renting. And I do send them, I originally send them the rental. So I send them what they're looking for from the MLS. There's never anything out there because it's impossible to find rentals in Denver. And I can't really provide a lot of value as an agent in the rental market out here. I did in Boston. There's a huge rental market for agents. And so I kind of came from that, originally helping these people realize, like, is this really make the most sense for them, or should they maybe be looking at buying?
I love
and
that.
sometimes it's not like an immediate thing. One of the guys that I talked to recently, he's he just signed a lease, so it's probably not going to pan out if it does for 9 to 12 months, but that's fine. You know, it's just an easy long-term commitment to helping this person.
I love that. I love you have a really mature outlook on it. A lot of agents get in and they think that, you know, conversion means that they're going to get a deal in a week, you know.
Right.
I also love that you're doing something with them that keeps your offers competitive in this super, super tight market, because a lot of agents, like, they don't know how to navigate the back end of the deal effectively. And so they're going through 6 or 7 offers on average, like, per deal. And it takes forever.
Exactly.
So you're doing
they're throwing darts and hoping something sticks. You're not really, like, running a business, and you're not doing your clients the best service anyway. So it's really a full feature business. And this, I think, was really the missing key for me specifically. So
and I want to touch on one more thing you said, because I think it would be very helpful for the agents working with us. But I don't want you to say the name of them. If any agent has a question on this other company, by all means, ask Taryn, but talk about what this other company is doing that you think helps support what we're doing.
So it's just providing value. It's super relevant. So they're updating content and they're writing blog posts, doing social media graphics and videos. So you can then share it on your channels. And it's really super I think it's done quarterly, and then they're doing it with stats that are national. And then I'll go in behind them and put local stats as well, because everything's fully customizable. They also provide buyer and seller guides. So it's something that I also am able to deliver a piece of value right away without spending all of the hours that I've tried to come up with, like the perfect design and the perfect wording and this, that, and the other. I was really, really impressed with the value and the content that they put out. It's really educational and it's really informative. So that was huge. And I think that's just double-ended. Both of these things combining right now with the work that I'm willing to put in has been kind of just this.
I love how you're looking at the whole picture. Because I mean, if you really think about what we're doing, like on the buyer side, it's, you know, we're advertising value to, that's the hook. It's a value piece to the people that are coming in on, right? And so many agents have this mentality of, okay, now like they owe me business now that they're coming in, and like, right. It's terrible mentality to have, right? Yeah. And so, like, what you're doing, and the reason you're winning above even other agents that we have, the reason you're winning is because you're completely value and listening centered, right? Rather than, I call it being selfless instead of being selfish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, and that's just showing in the results. So I really applaud you for that. That's what probably why. And what kind of volume are you doing? Just a little background for everyone else here to understand who you are.
Historically, I've been your average agent, closing 9 to 12 deals a year. Last year, I was pregnant, bought a house, renovated the house, pandemic, did like 3 deals, and just pretty much my business barely made it through. And that was a personal choice I made for where I was at. And so this was something that I was really looking for a jump start when I came back into the market after maternity leave. And this was definitely that magic. Okay, let's get back out there. The traditional things I had been doing pre-pandemic were not going to work at this point in time, and I knew that. So I had to shift gears. One thing that I wanted to mention that Kayla and I had talked about last time we chatted, that I think is going to be a really good system in this crazy competitive market that we are in nationwide. Right now, I'm sending out, so on Friday mornings, I'll do an updated, here's what's hitting the market, here's what's new in the market, email blast to everybody. And then Monday night, come back and say, here's what's still on the market, email blast.
Wow, that's the extra like cherry that makes it. I'm sure you get way more responses to that than the Friday one,
right? Because people are like, okay, cool, and everybody knows right now houses are flying. Yeah, we see this pretty house that's not going to be available. You get them on the back end because you're providing that value. Every agent needs to do that. You're providing that back end. Say, I know you kind of saw it. I probably saw you in the MLS. You're checking it out. Here's what's still available if you actually dragging your feet. And then over that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's what I make my phone calls on. So then I can call them and say, hey, saw you in the MLS on the back end. Like, I know you looked at it, or did you get the email? Is there anything that you're curious about that's still sitting around in the market? There's some opportunities.
And that is so much more valuable than saying, hey, just checking in.
Cool. They got 5 agents just checking in.
Yeah. So
don't have anything better to do right now.
The email sequence you're running, I call that the newsletter, right? I call that a double tap because so many agents just hit the first one, but you don't get much response off the first. That second one, and like you have a perfect timeline on it for what you're doing. That like you probably get 5 times the response on that second one. And then you're technically doing a triple tap in terms of the phone call. And you're really like, that's a really good way to go about it. I love that methodology. Wow, that's
relevant with where your market is right now. That's the market we're in, and everybody knows it. So how do you talk to those people and know that you're active, you're in the market, then they can trust you?
The agents like you, I always say that you don't need us to succeed by any means. You're going to succeed no matter what you do, where you go, who you're with. But I love working with agents like you because like truly it just makes me happy to see people doing the right thing,
It brings it all together, don't discount you guys. Like I knew what I wanted it to look like, but I didn't know how to glue it all together. And that's what's happened recently. So I really appreciate everything you guys have done.
Wow. I love it. I'm gonna end the interview in a second. Last question is if agents ever want to reach out to you, is it okay if are you open to that?
Of course, awesome. Definitely.
Perfecto. Thank you. This was Taryn for anyone watching in Denver, Colorado. What town in Denver? What city?
So I'm in Wheat Ridge, and it's I'm 15 minutes from downtown Denver.
Fantastic. In an amazing market. So if anyone has any questions, by all means, feel free to ask. Thank you.